All right, the other thing we have on discussion-wise is First Avenue bike path.
Mike Welch and I have been attending regular monthly meetings with all of the local municipalities in regards to the First Avenue bike path. And we're kind of at the phase where we're trying to now put some extra pressure or get some extra support from IDOT and the county. Part of the project of the First Avenue improvements that were approved recently in the village of Riverside and to improve the intersection on First Avenue and Forest is that there's going to be the implementation of a 600-foot multi-use path along the Riverside Brookfield, outside the field house, the East Gym, where our current sign is. And at these monthly meetings where we've been working with Commissioner Tobolski to get this project done, all the people in the room were like, if the machines are going to be out there and the company's been hired to make a 600-foot path, why not at least get the first leg of the path completed, at least maybe to 31st? Why have to re-engineer it, rebid it, all those things? Why can't we get this attached right to the project and find a different funding source to at least complete the first leg of the path? So that's kind of what we're working on. Commissioner Tobolski's setting up a meeting for all of us to meet with State Senator Landak, as well as Sandoval, who's on head of the Transportation Committee.
Yes.
And we're trying to make some headway there, since they're going to be working on this and that intersection is going to be not shut down, but under construction already this summer. It would make sense to try to get that first leg completed. Mike, you want to add some more on that?
I know timing-wise for the community, the lights are already out on Forest Avenue and First Avenue, and I believe they're looking at an August start to the project. So we'll already be in school in mid-August, so it's going to affect the school year. But the thought process is, connecting bike paths is something that the Forest Preserve likes to do and wants to do. And right now, as part of this project, they're going to build this 8-foot wide multi-use path. It's actually going to go from Parkview up to Forest on the west side of First Avenue. And then it's going to go from Ridgewood Road all the way up 600 feet along First Avenue on the west side, past the cellular tower. And then the thought process, like Dr. Skinkis was saying, is if we get that bike path up to 31st Street, it would be just a matter of connecting the other parts to the Salt Creek Trail down 31st Street to connect the section of Brookfield to the head of the trail there that's by the British Home area. And we also are trying to connect up to 26th Street, where kids from North Riverside can take their bike down First Avenue to go to school. So again, we've been working with Cook County, the zoo, Illinois Department of Transportation, North Riverside village officials, Riverside village officials, Brookfield village officials. So everybody's in the room, everyone thinks it's a good idea, and we're just trying to get this moving along so that someday maybe we can connect them within the next 1, 2, 3 years, is what Commissioner Topolsky wants as an end game for this. And the thought goes, should we spend some money through the municipalities and perhaps the high school and connect this bike path from the school up to 31st Street and show that, as community members and as the district, we're involved in this and we want this to go forward, and then start going through the grant process to take us out a couple more years to finish it. Because when you have so many municipalities and governmental agencies in the same room, if we were to somehow come up with the money and build that path, that would be a streamlined process. If we have to involve Illinois Department of Transportation and we get some kind of grant that might have federal funds, and federal funds are then cleared through the Illinois Department of Transportation, you have all these different phases of things you have to do to even break ground on that and get that approved, and that's where it would take 2 years. So those are some of the thought processes we had in those meetings. Eventually, I think this is something that we're gonna now, in the near future, gonna have to bring back to the board level, where I've gone out for the board, I've attended so many meetings and I've gathered the information, and at some point in time, if the board is gonna be willing to spend any money or willing to have any more input, it's gonna be the 7 of us and not just myself. I've been out there getting the information and attending the meetings, and every time you go, you think you're taking 1 step forward, but you end up taking 2 steps back when you find out that the process that you have to go through if you're gonna get CMAT funds or whatever the grant funds are that are available for this type of work. And then, whose land is it on the west side of First Avenue? Is it the Forest Preserve's land with the Illinois Department of Transportation right away? And determining all those things make that just another hurdle that you got to cross when you're trying to do something that everyone thinks is a good idea.
Any questions for Mike and Kevin?